Hi friends, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I have a traveler's notebook size Christmas journal to share with you today. I had finished one just a couple days ago and posted it on Instagram, and a friend of mine purchased it right away. That was really exciting. I loved making it, and I wanted to get a few holiday ones done now while it's still early in the fall, or even late summer actually. To use for December dailies or December memory keeping type journaling. So I want to get one done that I can use this December, and I thought doing it in getting it finished in September would actually be a good idea, so that I'm not rushed as the holiday season gets closer. This time I have used a manila envelope, just I think a business size or 8x10 envelope that you get at a dollar store. I cut out some pictures from some Christmas books for my front and back cover, and I just zigzag stitched those on and inked up the edge a little. This one I had a really hard time threading. Sometimes it goes easier than others, so I will probably definitely keep this one for me. I would hate to offer that to a friend and then have, a little bit mangled up hole there, but it'll work fine for me, and I don't care. I don't know if I mentioned I was at a book sale about a month ago, and I bought probably 10 Christmas books. Books all about decorating and food and baking and holiday traditions. You could get a whole bag of books for $5 at the end of the sale. So I just stocked up on Christmas books, and I thought, well, if I don't use them, I'm not out that much, but I have used them, and I've torn out tons of pages. I have a new book started here. You can see the Christmas or wintry tree, and there's just tons of them. Here's another cute one, Norman Rockwell, and so on. So I will suggest that to you as a possible source of lots of good pictures. I've also incorporated used Christmas cards, especially in the book I just sold, but a few in here as well. I'm going to just do a quick page through. This is a card from Nepal. I love the paper from that country. And this was a Christmas card a few years ago. So instead of throwing it away, I used, let me find a little thingy here to show you. I used it to make a front and back tuck spot. And then the lining of this envelope is just the front book pages of one of those Christmas books. And probably not visible, but there's a little glitter in that page. And I really like that because it gives a kind of a magical Christmassy feel. I found this really cute Night Before Christmas book, and it killed me to tear it up, but I love how these illustrations look in the junk journals. As I mentioned, this is a traveler's notebook size, so I kind of adjusted the envelope slightly. The one I made for my friend is more like a 9x6 measurement. So what I'll do on these pages is attach Christmas cards, wrapping paper, little notes that might come in cards, taking photos if we do any special holiday events, which we usually go to a light show or two. I will attach any kind of things like that that I collect. Sewed on this, and then I did a little bit more sewing in this one than the other book. As you can see, I need to trim my threads. I like a little bit of the length showing there, but not quite that long. I like the scrapbooky random shabby chic or something effect that those, I can't even get it, that those threads add, but obviously we don't want it that long. Here's a little Christmas bag from last year, so that'd be a great tuck spot. A little money card. There's a lot of glitter coming off of this onto the page, which I like. Sewed on a scrap of rickrack. I have a shoebox handy, plastic shoebox of scrap ribbon and threads and stuff, so I just kind of went through there. I inked up, sorry, I keep interrupting myself. I went through that box, picked up scraps, and sewed them on here and there. And then I added some ink. Sometimes I get tired of just like these plain white pages, so I will probably add a little more inking here or use that as a journaling spot or a spot to attach things. I will probably go through and put a few envelopes or additional pockets. But I really do like these picture book accents. There's so many neat pictures and fun stories in these books. But I can't read them all, and I never will read them all, so it kind of is fun to cut them up a little. Here's a little clear pocket from that dollar spot at Target at the beginning of the school year. They sell those. They're not $1 though, they're like $3. But you get quite a few, and then that can be a fun little spot to put in a little keepsake. Here's just some paper I trimmed off and made fabric ribbon and sewed it on. Leftover cards, added washi tape here. This is a little bit of a heavier weight paper from the inside of a book. As soon as you open it up, you know, there's those heavier blank pages. I just tore those out. It's got a little bit of ivy, I think there, holly and ivy or something. And then some coffee dyed paper. I just did a little fold there just for some visual interest. This is a book I showed on a previous video, a story of Jesus picture book for children. And I used that there. And then We Wish You a Merry Christmas. This note musical paper was also in one of my Christmas books. And so I folded it up and made it into a tuck spot. Some of them I've corner rounded, others I've left square for a little more eclectic look in this book. And then just a little scrap picture from one of them. This I thought was really cool, so I made a corner tuck for that. I mean, that's a pretty big tuck. And it had a little bit of writing there, so I covered it with ribbon. Cut out another picture, candy jar, just to embellish that white page a little. I loved this golden and pretty ribbon there. There's the center of the single signature. More washi. More coffee dyed with some scrap ribbon glued on for an accent. And then here's another really cool picture. All that stuff looks cozy and inviting, and I love all the detail in the Christmas books. I have found that I don't necessarily like living with all this kind of stuff around. I love being in people's houses that decorate like this. I love how it looks. To me, it starts to feel heavy and overwhelming after a while, like too many things to dust. But I love, love, love detail, and I love seeing it in books. Here's another tuck. And the other side of that picture, Mary and Joseph and one of the wise men. And then the other side of that tea-dyed paper. So that's just a little place to write something. The fold just makes it more interesting. And then sometimes it's fun just to have a tear. Everything doesn't have to be neatly cut, so that's what I did there. I sewed on some rickrack to embellish that page. I will probably go back and add a little washi to this. And here I made a side tuck with this cute card. I inked up I inked up all 4 edges, and then I sewed with a zigzag just the 3 for a little side tuck. And then I don't know if I like all that, so that again would be a good place to go back and say, well, here's a picture of some ivy in the snow. Maybe I'll cut that and put that there. Something to make it look a little more fun and not just like the back of a card. This was part of a card. I made a tuck spot out of that. With the traveler's size, a lot of the stuff that worked in my 9x6 wasn't fitting in here, so I had to find narrower cards or cut the cards down or fold things. But there's that. I'll probably add some gold ribbon or washi there. And here's the other part of that card, and more stray threads that need trimming. Fun little leftover piece of ribbon here. If you can see, it's a pretty little snowflake on a burlappy look. Linen or something. More inking, more blank pages, the other side of a card. Again, I will cover that up and out. I like that so much. And then this bag is not trimmed. The top, of course, is open. The bottom is not. So I will go back and trim that there for additional spots to insert some memorabilia or a couple photos. I might get in a Christmas card. I added this plaid that's in more subdued colors to this vintage looking graph paper. The inside is white, so that will probably be a place to ink or add washi, or again, what I like to do is just cut out little details of some of these book pictures. So let me grab one and I'll show you. Like here I could cut out the pine cone in the little cup, or I could cut out the candy jar and just put that in the corner, and that adds a lot of fun detail to your white or blank pages, or places where you feel like it needs a little more visual interest, but you're still wanting to keep plenty of space for journaling or attaching photos. So think about that if you come across any used Christmas books. See if it has pictures in it you would like to use to embellish your junk journal or December daily. Just glued on ribbon there. And then here is the back end of the other side of that Nepal designed Christmas card. And then just the lined paper there. I sewed it in using embroidery floss. I tried my waxed linen thread and just had a terrible time getting it through the center hole. So I took it all out and did the embroidery floss, and I'm pretty happy with it. I will probably tie it with a ribbon or some kind of stretchy elastic that I can slip on and off. Of course, elastic is stretchy. That's not what I wanted to say, but there's that kind of lace that's stretchy. So it's more elastic based, but you can tie that in a knot and just have it as something you put on and off of your book for an easy closure. So there you go. I don't know how many pages are in that. I just finished it and I thought I'd post this while I was thinking of it. I have a little art show I'm attending this Friday, and they have asked me to share a bit about junk journaling. So I wanted to have one Christmas themed junk journal to show. And what I will tell people is this is a great way to journal during the month of December and record all the things that you might do during the holiday. It's really fun to make written or visual memories for family members to enjoy for years to come. My kids love looking at the photo albums I've done, and so as I start incorporating this method of memory keeping, I think they will enjoy that as well. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed seeing this Traveler's Notebook size Christmas themed junk journal. We will see you next time. Bye.